Good morning. It is Christmas Day, 2024, and today I have a special coffee talk for you. As I said, it is Christmas 2024, and through the power of Christmas magic, I have a special guest today. That was a horrible snap, but you get the transition. Carolyn is here today, and she is going to be joining us for today's coffee talk. How you doing, kid?
I'm good.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks. You too.
So I asked her to do this, and this is kind of a big deal for her because she's not as comfortable on the camera as I am, which is ridiculous considering she is my child, and according to my wife, we are the same person, just different chromosomes.
Everyone that has met us says the same thing. Like my coworkers met you for like 2 minutes at the coffee shop, and they were like, "Yeah, I understand you now." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do."
So I thought it would be fun if we sat down on this Merry Christmas of Christmases. And first and foremost, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you out there. I cannot thank you enough for being here and signing up. And we broke 1,200 subscribers. Y'all, did you know that?
Yeah, I did. I saw.
Did you see that?
I saw, yeah.
So I broke 1,200 subscribers, and I keep telling this one, I'm like, look, if your old man can get 1,000 subscribers, then you definitely need to do this. So in the comment section, y'all encourage this one because she's adorable, and I think she should totally do a YouTube channel.
Okay.
But since I've got her sitting down, I thought it would be fun to ask her what is her favorite Christmas memory that you have growing up. Now, you were just telling one story when you got here.
Oh boy. Can you use that as a favorite or just one that
We'll save that for an extra because I don't think that was a favorite.
I don't think I can count that as a favorite Christmas memory.
No, it was not. As you may know, now Carolyn and I share the special bond of being the youngest children in our families.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so with that comes sometimes older siblings doing what older siblings do. And so we're going to save that story to the very end. So watch to the end and see what Carolyn's sibling story is, as we're going to call it. But I'm putting you on the spot because I didn't ask you this. And so I wanted a genuine reaction to see what was your favorite Christmas memory growing up as a kid in my household.
It was one where I was older, and it was when we started watching the Christmas movies and when we started doing that tradition. I got the memory of it on Facebook the other day. I think I was like 16. It was like 2016 when we were watching White Christmas. Okay. And it was me, you, Mom, and Crystal. I think that was a good one. And that was the one I think that like kick-started Crystal and I joining you and Mom, because you used to watch them wrapping presents, but then we were older, and so at that point we weren't really wrapping presents. We already knew what we were getting. It was either like money or electronics or whatever. We already knew what we were getting, so there was no wrapping of the presents. So we would sit there and Crystal and I would drink coffees or cocos or whatever, and you and Mom would drink wine, and we would watch movies. And White Christmas was always my favorite. That one was always.
That has Rosemary Clooney in it.
It does. And
who is your favorite, by the way? She loves Rosemary Clooney as a kid.
And Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby. Come on.
See, now I'll have to explain. So we started a Christmas tradition where we started collecting old classic Christmas movies. And every year we would add one new movie to the collection. And so we had Miracle on 34th Street, we had White Christmas, Christmas in Connecticut, Holiday Inn, The Holiday, all of the claymations. We had The Holiday, which I think we actually wound up buying The Holiday like 3 times.
We did. We had like 1 million copies of The Holiday. It became a joke. I mean, we would watch it 1 million times a year, though. Like,
I think it's probably one of the favorite ones.
I think for sure, for all of us.
Yeah, I think It's a Wonderful Life was another one. That one became a favorite, and I think that's what started it. So the tradition is that we were sitting down to wrap gifts one time, and It's a Wonderful Life had just started, and I had never seen it. And this was probably like 2014, something like that. And so I broke out a bottle of wine and sat down and watched It's a Wonderful Life. I'd never seen it before. Loved it. And so that just started the tradition of finding all of these classic holiday movies that we watched. And we had we still have a ton of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bonus was the Christmas when I got my phone for my first phone that I got. We have a video of that one in front of
I have several embarrassing videos.
In front of that awful green wall in your office.
I loved that green wall.
It was an awful
that
color.
accent green wall was one of my favorite.
Okay.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. I'll have to show you a picture.
Color. It was an awful color.
not.
The idea of the accent green wall was fantastic, and I loved the painting that we had in there and the leather couch. It was gorgeous. I hated that specific shade of green.
I loved that green.
I hated that
I
green
loved it.
color.
I think that made.
I hated that green color. If it was any other shade of green, it would have been fine, but I hated that green.
Obviously, my child doesn't know what she's talking about, so you have to forgive her. Anyway, I loved that office. We have a lot of embarrassing videos of you over time. Like, just to name a few, the phone was one. When you got your compound bow, when we bought your compound bow, when we were doing archery together.
Video? I just remember the
I have
picture.
video of that.
I
have
just
video of you
remember the
opening
picture
it.
of me, like, doing the, like...
No, that was when we were. That was when we were fletching
The bow-
the
yeah, the
arrows.
yeah.
We were doing the arrows, but I have video of you opening your bow. I'll see if I can find it, and if I can, I'll put it at the end of the video.
No,
it's funny. It's quite funny because you'll see a younger version of her. You were like what, 14, 15,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah. And we used to go do like daddy-daughter shooting days at the archery range, and so we would go and hang out, and we got really into it, as I tend to do with things. And
for a couple of months.
it was longer than just a couple months. We were going.
No, I think the only reason why we stopped going really was because I was getting like busier with school.
Well, that, and we were getting pressured by the instructor there to start
take
competing.
Classes. I know.
Well, it wasn't classes. He wanted us to compete because
Yeah,
we
he
were
wanted us
actually
alone.
really good at it. And he
Both of us.
would not leave us alone. He wanted me in the recurve bow without
And then me and the
sightless.
kids- me and the kids compound
Yeah.
competitions. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts. And so it got to the point where it was like we were getting pressured every time we went.
time.
And it
And
just
it
got to the point
came
where I
out
didn't want to
fun.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to go anymore. So we stopped going there, and then we started shooting. We started
Yeah.
going to the gun range.
Yeah. Replaced one with the other.
Yeah, one expensive hobby with another. So, okay, so we've talked for a little while, and I know y'all are busy with Christmas, and you have your own plans to do. So we're gonna do what the we're gonna do the sibling story before we get out of here. So let's tell the sibling story, because I have been told this story recently. As in within the past 5 or 6 years, but at the
Yeah.
time, nobody told me
idea.
this happened.
No idea. Yeah.
So you were how old when this happened?
Oh God, I was probably like 9. I was very young. Yeah. It's burned in that memory in there. Yeah, but yeah, I was young. And it was one Christmas. I remember being young because my sisters were older. They were teens, and for Christmas that year, my Santa gift was a bike. Was a really cute bike. I had it for years.
Yeah.
Loved that bike, and I was so happy, so excited. And my sisters came up to me afterwards, and they like cornered me on the stairs, and they were like, that didn't come from Santa. And I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? It's my present from Santa. And they were like, Santa didn't get you anything because you were bad. He said you were bad, so you didn't get anything. And Mom and Dad felt bad, so they got it for you. And I was like, it was devastating. It was world ending. It was devastating. My whole life perspective changed after that day.
It's kind of my fault, though, because growing up, I instituted a rule when they were very young, to my fault, and one that you guys used against me many, many times. But do you care to say what the family rule was in our house when you were growing up?
Can't get mad if it's funny.
No, yeah, you can't get mad if it's funny. And I had mistakenly said you can't get in trouble if it's funny when I first implemented that rule. because I made the joke. It's like, I don't care if you super glue your sister to the toilet seat, right? It's like, how funny is that I got to go into the ER with your sister screwed to the toilet seat and be like, here you go, doc, and I throw you like a Frisbee. And, you know, they're like, screw you, Dad. You know, that's what. Yeah, stuck to the toilet.
You're ridiculous.
I know.
Oh my.
Yeah, because of that, the older girls took that to the next level a few times, to where
did I.
they would be like,
I had
"Hey,
a good, give me some credit. I had a couple of good ones too.
Well, I remember one time somebody, I don't remember if it was you or if it was like Crystal, but one of you came home and was like, Dad, I got to tell you this story. And then you're so funny. And then they told me this story and like, isn't that hilarious? And I'm like, yeah, that is pretty good. And then they were like, good, because you're going to get a phone call from the school where I did that. And I was like, what? And they're like, can't get mad if it's funny. And I was like, yeah, that rule has to be amended.
Yeah, I think that was Crystal.
I think it was Crystal, actually.
Yeah, I think that one was Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, one of my favorite memories. I will round out with one of my favorite memories from you guys growing up. Christmas memory. One of my favorite Christmas memories for you guys, and it was pretty recent actually. Because Aubrey wasn't there. I think Aubrey had already moved at this point in time. But we were decorating the Christmas tree.
Not a name drop.
No, sorry. So what do I have to edit that out? Anyway,
Bleep it.
we had been decorating the Christmas tree, and you guys were into yoga, hardcore into yoga, and so you and
the tree in front of a tree.
Yeah.
I know what
So
you're talking about.
they did yoga pose in front of. They did yoga tree in front of the tree, and I just thought that was
There's a picture
hilarious.
of Crystal and I on your
Yeah, I may have to dig that out if I can.
It's on your Instagram.
Okay, so there you go. I will have to dig those out and then see if I can edit something together tonight before. Sounds like I got a lot of editing to do on this one.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, Merry Christmas to you, babe.
Merry Christmas.
All right. And Merry Christmas to each and every one of you out there. I hope you're enjoying it. And as always, I will see you in the comment section. Say bye.
I don't want to.
Why don't you love me? Why?
It's not that I don't love you.
No respect whatsoever.
Bye.